So the little cat, the little kitty had, she'd attached herself to me now. She'd kind of imprinted on me. I'd imprinted on her. She didn't cry as much. She would, if she was left on her own, you know, she would find that, you know, a bit disturbing sometimes. I just wondered in the head, did she think I was going to come back, or was she going to be on her own again? So I spent as much time with her as possible. I took her out everywhere I was going. Even if I went to the store to get some fruit or some food, I took her with me. She had her little pink leash and her little pink collar, and people just absolutely adored her. And I would sit her in the trolley and I would push her with me, and she just absolutely just loved looking around at everything, and she just loved being so close. Times she would just crawl up onto my shoulder, and she would sit on my shoulder very patiently, and I would hold her little leash with a little collar, and she would sit there, and I'd walk around the store, and people would be absolutely amazed that this little cat was sitting on my shoulder. And I absolutely loved it, to be quite honest, and I just absolutely loved, you know, the little cat. She was a great comfort, especially for the nights, the many nights that I couldn't sleep. You know, she would always cuddle up into me, and she would push herself up and under my chin, you know, as far as she could go, and cuddle in, and she would purr, you know, and she would fall asleep. And you know, she just loved, you know, being you know, stuck up under my chin and stuff. And yeah, it was a great comfort for me. And yeah, but Fiona would love her, and I knew Fiona because she loved animals as well. So and that was it. So other than going to the shooting range and it was pretty boring. I just missed San Pedro. I just missed the sun. The sun was different. I just missed the humidity. I missed the rains coming in, and I just missed nightlife. You know, I just missed talking to people, and just having Andy in the house every now and then, and not having anybody you could go out and have a coffee with, you know, or just take a trip, you know, downtown. Because I would go down to the local Costa or the Green Bean, and I would sit there and I would kind of like people watching. You know, if I asked the person behind the counter for a coffee, oh, you got an accent, where are you from? That was the only real time that I kind of got to speak to other strange people. And then I would sit down and somebody would say, oh, you know, you're from Ireland, and oh, my great fucking, you know, grandfather's cat's daughters, you know, was from there as well. And so you kind of strike up a conversation, and it would be great for 20 or 30 minutes. And then, you know, those people would leave, and the overwhelming feeling of just fucking pure boredom or even a bit of loneliness would just set in again, you know. And I would go to the mall, and I would do the same thing in the mall, have a walk around the shops, you know, maybe buy myself a t-shirt or something just for lack of boredom, and that would be it. I had started to buy bodybuilding videos, or VHS tapes, and take them back and watch them. Sean Ray, Lee Priest, Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, Boyer Cole, Albert Beckles, Bertel Fox, all the old ones, all the older guys from the 80s, early 90s eras, you know what I mean? I would watch them, and, you know, I started copying their training, and I started to bulk up a bit. I didn't have the same definition that I had, but I was definitely bigger, and definitely stronger, and I was having to buy clothes that were a bit bigger and a bit baggier to fit me, which was a really good feeling too, and it was great for the mental health. And yeah, so other than that, life was just going on. Really looking forward to going to Bermuda. I started looking up the world map that Andy had on the wall in his hangar 92, and then I went to one of the local stores and bought a big map, and I started to mark on the map the places that we were going, and I would draw a line from Miami to the countries that we'd already been to, and you know, and so it was easy for me then to basically look up where Bermuda was, and, you know, that it just wasn't one island, it was a group of smaller islands kind of connected, and found out where the airport was, and, you know, was able to get a geographical location on it, and I started to do that, and that would be a great aid for flying as well. So, not that I'll probably fly there on my own anytime soon, but as long as I was in Andy's plane, I knew I'd be flying that, and it was something to look forward to as well. So I took a nap. I think I took a nap. It had begun to rain again, and the rain was very comforting, especially to the little cat, because Kitty would jump down and she would sit at the window, and she would watch the rain droplets kind of hitting on the rain, and she would try and catch them, you know, and it was nice to see. And then outside we had little lizards, little newts, and she would try and catch them through the glass and stuff. She would have killed them if she got a hold of them, but you know, because I've seen her jump and catch flies, and I've seen her catch a couple of spiders and eat the spiders as well. So, you know, she was a little carnivore doing that there, and like all cats, they had the killing instinct. I didn't see the hawk or the kestrel that was in the tree. I don't know whether the winds had frightened it, or it was dead, or anything. And I'd made a point to climb the tree and see if the nest was still there or if it had been destroyed in the last big storm that we had. So that was I wrote that. I made a little list of that to make sure that I would do that and just get up the tree and check. Kitty would climb up the tree when she was out. Wouldn't go too high. She would climb up and there'd be a branch that kind of overhung, and she would sit on that branch and she would look down at me, and you know, and if I called it and I put my hands like this, she started to jump. She would jump down, and because she knew I was going to catch her, and I'd hold my hands up and she would jump into my hands, and it became, you know, something of a little thing for her. She'd go up the tree and she'd look at me, went with me, and I would call her and she would jump. So it became a little game between me and her, and she was getting bigger. She was getting bigger. She was eating, I think, a lot better. I don't know if Tom really fed her as much as I did, but I fed her and made sure that she was healthy, because she was quite skinny when I got her. But you know, I suppose with Tom sleeping all the time and maybe, you know, drinking, you might have only put like a little bit of food out for her, and I know that he was forgetful at times as well. So, but she was bigger, she was stronger, she was able to jump further, and she could jump from the bed and up onto the bed, and she could literally jump like up onto my shoulder and stuff. If she was on a table or a chair, she could jump quite high. So yeah, she was a great source of comfort for me. So I think I took a nap, and it was the same story. Woke up, ate, sleep, swim, run, walk. You know, it was fucking monotonous. It was really, really boring me, and I was getting to the point where my fucking head was just about to explode. It was just like a balloon full of helium. I was just about to pop and go fucking banzai. You know, I felt like I was the last person on the planet with nobody to talk to. So I checked the time, and I think it was around about 10 o'clock, and I decided I'd give Fiona a call, because I hadn't spoken to her for a couple of days. So gave her a call up at Chancheech, and she had mentioned to me that Tom and Josie and Norman had come back from their vacation down on San Pedro on the island, because they usually spent about 6 months up in the jungle and then took a week or two off. And one of the reasons why Fiona had started working at Chancheech was to give them a spell so they could go on vacation, because, you know, other than that, it was only Norman that was there. Norman wasn't working there, so he didn't know how to take, well, it's not to say that he didn't know how to take the bookings, he just didn't do it. So they were like the three amigos, the three musketeers. They went everywhere together. So Fiona's job was to, you know, give Tom and Josie and Norman that little bit of space and go off and get there 2 weeks. Because Tom and Josie also had two boys. I can't remember the name. I think one of them was Xander. The other one, I can't remember, to be honest. So they would all go, and they were up in the States in school. They would come down, and Josie and Tom would take the holidays around the boys, and then they would all holiday together on the island, and go from there, really. So I rang Fiona and I told about Tom, you know, I told about Tom dying and how he died, and she was, she was shocked at that, and she felt sorry for Andy, and she asked me to pass on to Andy, you know, her condolences and stuff. But I wasn't going to do it, because I just wasn't going to fucking keep reminding Andy that Tom was gone, you know. And I didn't know if Andy would get pissed at me telling people about it, so I didn't mention it. And I said that I would, but I didn't pass it on. So apart from that, that was it. It was nice to hear from her. She was saying that she was really excited to come up and see me and spend time and get to know me better. And she had mentioned that what Sue had said.